Okay, hello, good morning, everybody. So yesterday we had a chatter who said, "Have you considered playing Malevolent Rumble, Bloodbraid Marauder, Living End?" And I mean, I think you could still build that deck, but we were chatting about it a little bit, and I said that I think that that could be something that's interesting with Cash Grab too. Um, to turn on as a bunch of good 2 mana ways to turn on Delirium for Bloodbraid Marauder, but I was thinking that I would be more interested to try to make it instead of a Living End deck, making it a Rhinos deck. This way you could play Amped Raptor, and then your deck would be a lot of 2-drops. Bloodbraid Marauder, Amped Raptor, and then Cash Grab and Rumble to set up Marauder, and then Raptor can hit Cash Grab and Rumble for some good value. And kind of like this is like the shell I started at. I'm like, this is kind of an interesting package. Um and then fleshing it out a little bit. One thing, of course, is you don't really want to play other 1-drops like Channeler, Lightning Bolt, Galvanic Discharge, because you're going to hit them off of your Marauder instead of your Crashing Footfalls. And because you're playing so much card selection with Rumble, Cash Grab, Raptor, Party Thrasher, I think you really want to make sure you cast this with Delirium, you're going to hit a Crashing Footfalls. And then kind of fleshing it out beyond that, we are an Amped Raptor deck, so we want to have a lot of 2-drops, but just kind of like Boros Synergy. You can play 3-drops in the deck. It's they're certainly worse here than they are in Boros Synergy, where you have to have Aether Hub or an Unstable Amulet before you cast Raptor if you hit a 3-drop. But also, just like in the Boros Synergy deck, you're going to brick on this card sometimes, and the upside outweighs the downsides there. Also, like Boros Synergy, we're kind of just like a Moon Stompy deck. We're just like pumping out a ton of threats, and we are slamming Blood Moon to interact with our our opponents who we have a hard time racing game one, and then we have some more effective sideboard cards post board. We also have Bonecrusher Giant as a way to fight through Ring, and as a 2-drop removal spell that can be hit off Amped Raptor for 2 mana and can punish the Ring. Really nice tool. I will say Detective's Phoenix has also been awesome in the shell. Obviously, with the Cash Grab Rumble, you get to mill over them for some incidental value pretty often. You get to fill up the yard for the Collect Evidence pretty often. And I had a lot of games where I went Cash Grab or Rumble on 2, and then I went Marauder into Rhinos, and I was also able to bestow a Phoenix onto a Rhino and attack for 6 on that turn. And I'll say this deck was really impressive to me last night. I was 3-1 in testing. I lost to Respect the Cat, or sorry, Tunneling Cat, one of the cats. In a close one where I got them to 1 life. But I like the deck. I thought it was pretty exciting, pretty good, pretty consistent, pretty powerful. So often the answer to these questions, what do you usually do in these situations? It's just like it just depends on the board, and usually when you're on the board, it's not usually all that complicated. Because this hand's very close. I'm gonna mulligan the 1-lander. We have 23 lands. Okay, there's a Gemstone Caverns. So obviously, on a Moldified, Gemstone Caverns is kind of tough. I'm going to put back a Crashing Footfalls. I'm going to put back a Bloodbraid Marauder. I'm going to imprint this Bonecrusher Giant so I can play Party Thrasher turn 1. Don't give me questions to question it. Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying... Maybe I'm not articulating myself very well. Just a lot of questions can be answered. It's just going to depend on the board, and on any given board, it's a lot of times going to be kind of clear what the best answer is. I don't know if that's a good way to phrase that. Okay, hopefully not going to get snared. Great image of the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Is Alchemist Gambit a playable card for the damage can't be prevented clause against Ring? I mean, it is currently seeing some play in Ruby Storm. They wish for it sometimes. That card is pretty bad overall, though. And there are lots of plans you can employ against the Ring in Modern. The Ring is a pretty beatable card if you are employing a plan for it. And it's hard to imagine that is like going to be one of your better options, if that makes sense. Weird, it gives you the option to exile Stomp. Yeah, it is. It is mechanically the same. You exile the Bonecrusher / Stomp card. Yeah, it is a little weird. All right, they Shock in the Springs. Mold to 5 on the draw against a deck like Wizards, which just appears to be is not exactly where you want to be. That's okay, though. I'm going to go and discard this Party Thrasher. It's number 2. And then I I think I'm going to take this cash grab. It's kind of a question mark. They might let it resolve, is one thing. And this also could turn on Delirium and let me Bloodbraid Marauder this turn if I get Delirium and put a land into my hand. There's a good chance they're just going to counterspell, though. So that, that's an argument, of course, for attacking for 1. This way, we have 2 types in our yard compared to only having 1 if we had discarded or if we had cast the Amped Raptor instead. They shock in this. All right, they're already down to 13. I updated the Wizards build that we had, and I'll say that I was also playing like 4 of these on my new list. I'm a little bit worried about the mana restrictions there. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and fetch and surveil. If we are lucky enough to get Delirium, we could put 11 points of power into play. Ding, ding, ding. Mold of 5, kind of a mold of 4 with the Gemstone Caverns. Do a blue-black Murktide list. I have been working on some Dimir Frog decks. I have been playing Dimir Necro. I have been playing Dimir... Also, Unstable Amulet triggers off Bloodbraid Marauder, triggers off of Adventures, triggers off Party Thrasher, triggers off Amped Raptor. I've been playing Blue-Black Necro. I've been playing Basim Frog Dimir, and we actually top-8'd the last Modern Challenge we played. Wait. No, we didn't. The second to last Modern Challenge we played with that list. So, but I have not played like the stock Murktide builds, and honestly, I don't think that the stock Murktide builds are very good. In fact, I think that they are bad. Lumbering Falls, they're okay, they're fine. Lumbering Falls, 28 months, thank you, welcome back. Haven't tried the Asma Frog deck. I've built a couple builds. I will say Wrath of the Skies is on the decline, it seems, so could be a good time to just pivot back. Okay, so if we ignore Tamio, this is 8 damage? Hey, Tashi, good morning. Probably gonna kill Tamio. Let's see what we draw. You can't convoke out rhinos? I don't believe so. I don't think you can suspend or just like cast. May have that wrong though. The Frog Asmodedo package seems pretty strong. It seems pretty okay, I think. Modern is just kind of like not a format where like slowly assembling these like 3-card packages for value is going to be very good against like the meta of like energy versus combo decks. But it certainly has some synergy. It certainly isn't particularly weak. I agree. A mold of 5 with gemstones is basically the same as mulling to 5 on the play. I mean, could you say that a mold of 5 on the play is effectively the same as a mold of 4 on the draw? Because that to me that sounds like what you're saying and what I'm saying. But maybe I'm misunderstanding. My opponent definitely has a Murktide here. Right, 3 cards in their hand. Well, this is also going to trigger the Amulet. Good top deck. So I get them down to 9. Do they have a counterspell for my Footfalls? I can pay for Spell Pierce. No counterspell for the Footfalls. Just like the Footfalls, we're crashing in. Yeah, this deck has been pretty impressive so far. Again, this is a mold of 5 with the Gemstone Caverns against a interactive deck. Oh, sorry, I should put Jegantha into my hand too here. I haven't thought of a Psychic Frog Capricious Hellraiser deck. No. That does sound kind of dope, though. I have been longing for Capricious Hellraiser, of course, as I always do. Like Wolverine, I stare at the picture late at night. Like, I maintain the position that if Seagate Restoration... or if Red had an MDFC to the level of Seagate Restoration, Amarius Call, Turntimber Symbiosis, if Red got one in MH3, or if Shatterskull Smashing was like a crazy big hit off of Capricious Hellraiser, that card would be like That card would be like so much more real. It would just be so much like more viable. Everything would be better about that card. It would be night and day almost. And so much so that like we've played many versions of Capricious Hellraiser that I think we'll play this because it triggers the amulet. We played many versions of Capricious Hellraiser that are like playing a bunch of filter lands and Seagate Wreckage, but it's just of course very difficult with Okay, so this is going to trigger the amulet, and then when I cast the Bonecrusher Giant off the Adventure half, this is also going to trigger the amulet. Shukin with the gifted sub, thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. So opponent is now at 2 life. They have to deal with every creature here. They can block one of them. Symbiotic with the 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you also, of course. Okay, so against Wizards, I'm gonna probably not want any Blood Moons, although it didn't look like it was necessarily going to be that bad against them. I'm gonna bring in the 3rd Cavern. Of course, with all the 2 drops, we're gonna play a lot of Caverns. I was thinking about main decking 3 right now. I'm main decking 2, sideboarding another. I also have a Stomping Ground in the sideboard that I'm just going to bring in every game I'm on to play. And I am thinking that this card making my deck, like, my mana is better every single game I'm on to play. That is worth the sideboard card, but I agree it's like a little bit weird. All right, we'll bring in these hearses and then click submit. But I thought about returning to Hollow Frog. I mean, maybe. The thing is, Hollow 1 is going to get a big upgrade with Bloom Burrow, with Fear of Missing Out. That card is probably better than Frog, and you could maybe play it and Frog and still be Grixis, and there's some good blue sideboard cards to play. But the mana is a lot better for Black-Red, and Fear of Missing Out is insane, I think. And so next time we play Hollow 1 will probably be after... Sorry, I said Bloom Burrow. With Duskmourn, whatever. After the new set comes out, and we will probably be playing Red-Black with Fear of Missing Out. That card is so good, I think. Okay, another turn 1 Gemstone Caverns hand. I think I'm going to go ahead and imprint the Commercial District. No, you hate it. We're so tempted by Layla for this deck. I am not tempted at all, unfortunately. I wish I were, but that card, so bad. FOMO, the 2-mana 2/3 that rummages and gives you an extra combat step. Yeah, that card. Okay. 2 Detectives Phoenix is kind of a weird hit, I guess. I think we put 1 into our hand here. Good chance we'll just cast it. I will be at Vegas, yeah. So they didn't hold up Snare on turn 1. I drew my last Surveil land, which is kind of not ideal. I guess I didn't play Rub Pierce. It's also not ideal, although I kind of want to play this, maybe. Well, this one resolved. You ever bestow a Phoenix onto a Phoenix? And again, not really much reason to tap this amulet right now. We can tap on our turn, and that'll give our opponent less information about what we've got going on. Flame of Anor could be kind of bad. Well, if they Flame of Anor, we could bestow a Phoenix onto a Phoenix. Phoenix is very good against Wizards. Alright, I guess we do end of turn. Not very likely we... Sorry. Not very likely that we are going to have enough energy to tap an amulet again. Let me just surveil. Let me go ahead and graveyard that. Unfortunately, doesn't seem like the Phoenix cast is going to be very good. I think we'll still cast it. Did I consider Arena of Glory? I did consider Arena of Glory. We are a Blood Moon deck. We're also a Detectives Phoenix deck, so we have like a good amount of access to giving stuff haste. We also, I think, really need to play 4 Aether Hub so that our Amped Raptor can hit our 3 drops. We need to play at least 2 Gemstone Caverns. We probably need to play the first Boseiju. And then, because we're a Blood Moon deck that needs a lot of fetch lands, too, for Delirium and stuff, like, we also need to play, like, 8 or 9 fetch lands. So, There isn't exactly, I think, a lot of room. Okay, I love that they took the hit after I've tapped out and then and then bolted. There isn't like a lot of room, I think, for that, but could be okay. Would I still play NT and Hollow Frog when FOMO's legal? I might, yeah. I mean, I think I would definitely play like at least the first NT. NT is a good card in the archetype. Okay, so I really want to get these amulet triggers. Is the split card that this deck uses in Legacy unplayable in Modern? Are you talking about incubation incongruity, or you gotta help me out. Help me out. What card are we talking about? I don't think that incubation doesn't have. We don't have enough creatures to hit on that one. If that's the card you're talking about. If we're talking about a different card, give me the name, baby. We'll talk about it. Love to talk about it. The big question is, what's kind of big NT liver? Frog. Yeah, I think that we'll probably be playing like less than 4 NTs, like 3 NTs, 2 Fear of Missing Out, potentially going down in Flame-Blade Adepts, potentially not playing any Ox of Agonis from the Black-Red builds, or not playing Lava Dart in those Black-Red builds. A lot of different ways to build it. Okay, so this is going to put them down to 7. So the next turn I can go maybe Stomp them down to 5, play Bonecrusher them down to 3, play Escape Detective's Phoenix, then down to 2, and if they just so if they don't have a counter spell, they're gonna lose. Because if they either take the damage or they're gonna target the Bonecrusher, which will kill them. We talk about Kona Rescue Bestie. We have talked about Kona. We'll definitely try it. It is very crazy. This card can put any non-land permanent, especially in combination with cards like Springleaf Drum on turn 4, into play. There's also a 4-mana creature with 3 toughness in Modern. I think it's gonna feel pretty Splinter Twinny to some extent, like maybe finding room to tap out. I think that there is some obvious complements with. Sorry, I keep losing my train of thought today. The Shifting Woodlands deck, where you could kind of overlap the Woodlands archetype with this card. That being said, Woodlands seems to be much better overall, for whatever that's worth. Okay, so nothing to bestow onto. Can always crew any vehicle with Kona. I mean, yeah, but there are no playable modern vehicles. But yeah, cards like that. Slot into Woodlands. I mean, it would be a bit different build, but yeah, that is about what you'd have to do. Okay, so if we can resolve a creature, we're going to be in good shape. The Footfalls coming down off suspend does pose 2 damage. We're not exactly under the most pressure ever. Duskmourn seems almost like another overpowered Eldraine type of set. Maybe. The set is very exciting for brewing in Modern. I agree with that. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting my Jegantha. Yeah, I wouldn't put it on Eldraine levels, but it is a good set for sure. Seems like they're thinking about flipping the Tamiyo. I mean, I think there's a good argument that Eldraine was like a more powerful. I guess I don't know. I think it was more powerful than MH1. I think MH2 and MH3 were more powerful than Eldraine. Eldraine, I think, is probably the most powerful standard set of all time. Hewist, which prime? Okay, except for like, Urza's Legacy or whatever, Most powerful standard set, modern legal standard set. Is that a good way to say it? Maybe not. Alright, another land. I will say that when you're playing like a first match of the deck like this, and we are against Wizards, so maybe this is like not the best time to say this, but when your deck is like we mulled to 5 game 1 in Gemstone Caverns, we got very flooded game 2 so far, and we're still doing pretty good. So it's a good sign, I think, when your deck is stumbling and still like in contention to win. Although that may be more of a condemnation of Wizards than it is a praise of this deck. Weird and Pretty Nuts, Skullclamp, Ravager, KCI. Yeah, maybe a bit before my time. Yeah, you could probably make a case that Mirrodin was better. Although, I don't know. Eldraine was also so crazy. Stoneblade Chainsaw win. I don't think I've read Chainsaw. I'm sure one equipment that's a lightning strike will make the archetype playable copium. Yeah, for sure, Z's. Alright, how long until this comes down? 3 turns. It's kind of a lot of turns when there's a Hall of the Storm Giants over there, I guess. Alright, 5/5 Murktide. So we are dead next turn. So I don't have enough to bestow both Phoenixes. Okay, put our opponent down to 4. Ikara didn't really have many playable cards outside of the companions. Well, Triomes. Triomes and Winota. Not that, I mean, Winota's like not a modern card, but Winota is a really fucked up card for sure. I think there's also maybe one more big one. Maybe not. Not sure. Typhoon? Yeah, Typhoon. That's a big one. I mean, Ikora was in that crazy time frame. It's one of the more busted sets. Okay. So that deals with one of my blockers. They're gonna have to deal with both of my other blockers and animate Hall of the Storm Giants, which seems not possible, right? Because they can't discharge. They're too short on energy. And I guess the problem is that I'm one card in my yard shy of bestowing another Detective's Phoenix, so I may need to top deck something. Lose Coat, the 27 again. Thank you so much. So let's take 5 down to 6. Unfortunately, this is still coming down in 2 turns, so unlikely to matter. They're going to flip Adelphia the Tamio, it seems, also. Alpha's the most busted set of all time. Yeah, would you even consider Alpha a standard set, though? It's like designed before like formats were a thing, maybe. I don't know. I agree. Alpha is the most busted set of all time. I'm on board with that one. Okay, another Tamio. Big top deck. Bonecrusher Giants maybe the best draw. Although, let's see. So would our opponent ever counter Party Thrasher? I think we can afford to play this as bait. Okay, they did not take the bait. Maybe that was predictable. Brent with the 34 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Is Cursed Totem server for Yogg? Yeah, I've been playing against Yogg a good amount, and I think that matchup's pretty tough, so we're deciding to try to respect that deck today. Force of Negation. Very good play. Now I cannot bestow my Detective's Phoenix. And I'm dead to them just picking up the discharge and triggering the Murktide. Right. I pitched my other Surveil land earlier. Let's go to game 3. The play for game 3. Hope we can have a smoother draw this time. Most broken standard set of all time is either Urza Saga, Mirrodin, or Eldraine. Yeah, I know. Like, I Urza Saga and Mirrodin definitely very messed up. Throne of Eldraine is also like in 2 years of like awful design, super duper push cards, incredible power creep. Throne of Eldraine stands above the rest in terms of way to push sets. Does Amulet allow you to cast Footfalls without suspend? No, does not. Not a good hit off the Amulet. 5-lander, let's mulligan. Suspending Rhinos on turn 1 is not so bad, though. Okay, let's keep this one. And Phoenix is very good against them. But the second Phoenix is oftentimes kind of bad, so let's put it back. And then if I have Raptor and Rumble, I usually prefer to cast Rumble on turn 2, so this way I'm likely to get Delirium. so that if I hit a Bloodbraid Marauder, then that Marauder is going to have be able to cast a Rhinos. And also Rumble kind of sets you up for like double 2-drop on turn 3. Rumble's just so good. No. The bane of my existence, Spell Snare, maybe Spell Pierce. Oh, Snare is a lot more popular right now. Deck is definitely not good against Spell Snare. I'll tell you what. Can still go Rumble into 2-drop next turn if we hit a land off Rumble or if we draw a land for turn. I wonder if they have their Harbinger of the Tides in their deck against me. Maybe I should be trying to fetch a mountain against them. 1 card on top, 1 card on bottom. Untap. All right, if you got 2 Spell Snares, you got 2 Spell Snares, I think. We did draw a land for turn. There's the mountain. I'm going to take the Amulet, and we haven't seen Harbinger in against us. They do have it in their deck because they're playing the Bloodstained Mire. But let's not play around it. I'm going to go and just cast an Amped Raptor here. We don't have Delirium. We have only sorcery and land in the yard. Okay, they consign the trigger. We'll take a nice little 2-for-1 like that, I guess. They shocked that Steam Vince into play pretty quickly, but then they've just passed. I think with this Phoenix in our hand, I'm just gonna play another Rumble, and then if they counter this, I'm gonna bestow onto the Raptor. No, not so bad. Through Snare, Consign, Snap Snare. Maybe they have a Force of Negation. If that puts them down to 1 card in their hand. Hard to be too upset about that. Phoenix is very good against them. Seems like they do have Force. I think we should probably just try to play around that now. It's like, yeah, getting an Exile is pretty enviable for them, but they'd be down to 1 card in their hand. Eldraine wasn't just Oko once upon a time. Yeah, there's also Mystic Sanctuary, which is Banded Modern. There's a ton of cards in the set that are like very impactful. And like not just in Modern too, in like variety of formats, but like no one even like Dwarven Mine is a card that like no one even like talks about but was like a super like was like maybe like one of the best cards in Modern for like a year. But no, you know. All of the Eldraine lands are really, really good. There's like Bonecrusher Giant, Borrower. It's just like such a long list. Yeah. Also in Pioneer and Standard, just such a plague. What does Bloodstain equal Harbinger? More fetches to play around their own moon. So it equals Harbinger because it's a red fetch land. So a red fetch land is something you can. Okay, I'm actually going to try to bait a counterspell on this Unstable Amulet pre-combat. So I'm going to finish the question. Bait on the Amulet pre-combat so that I can maybe stomp the Snapcaster Mage. If they have Flame of Venor and counterspell, they may be like, okay, I'll take 4 and then I'll flame next turn so I can counter the Amulet. Amulet's pretty good against them. That makes sense. Although they do not. Maybe they kill the Amulet in response to the trigger here. Wow, Snap Consign the ETB. Sorry, I didn't finish. Oh yeah, so Mire is a red fetch land, so you would only play this in your blue-red deck if you wanted to get a mountain, because you need to get a mountain to be able to be good against Harbinger. So I do think they have Force of Negation, of course. If I stomp now, they're going to Force. And then go down to 1 card in their hand. I don't know if that's correct or not for me to like try to him to truck them. I don't think it is. Let's go ahead and just stomp on their instep. Yeah, Fire's Invention too. Consign is pretty good main board right now, is it? It's okay. I would probably prefer to main deck Spell Snare as in the 1 mana flex spot or whatever. All right, let's stomp. Don't exactly expect this to resolve, but I'm optimistic that this will tap our opponent low. Wow, it resolved. That's a big deal. So now we have a lethal attacking Amped Raptor. We have a Bonecrusher Giant that is going to deal them 1 when we cast it. Also, this you only play this with Harbinger too. So they're going to kill my Raptor. Or die. They're going to chump block the Raptor. Well, can't say I hate that. $10 minutes ahead on clock? 12 minutes ahead on clock. I do think people in general have been playing faster on Magic Online, which has been nice. Jegantha, it's better to cast the Bonecrusher. 4/3 against the 2/1s, deal them a damage, more pressure. Yeah, I'll try not to forget Jegantha. Oh, another subtlety. Okay. Well, they've got no cards in their hand. I will put that on top since they go into 2. Gonna have them in checkmate here with a lethal Raptor and lethal Bonecrusher on top, and them only top decking 1 card. I guess they could draw Flame of Anor into like Snare, but they would have to Flame of Anor after I attack, otherwise the Phoenix kills them. So we just wait until that goes on the stack, then stomp them, I guess. Chris with the Twitch Prime, thank you, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. What's the other card? Was it Tamio? So I guess that long tank when I bestowed the Detective's Phoenix like 10 minutes ago was not because they had Force of Negation, it was because they were trying to see if they could subtlety the bestow, which you cannot do, of course. Cryptic Command in hand. I mean, even Cryptic Command, we have them checkmated, right? There's not really anything that can happen here, and yeah, they're gonna... Looks like they did draw the Flame. Well, yeah, they did draw the best possible. But we have them checkmated. Fun game. Fun match. All right, let's give this one a go. I'm going to go ahead and... Well... You want to get a force kind of aggressively, because if you hit Moon off Raptor, you kind of don't want to just be left sitting with no green mana. That being said, that doesn't exactly seem like something that's going to happen this game necessarily, so maybe it would have been fine to Stomping Ground. Thoughts on Dreadhorde over Thrasher? Seems good with Phoenix and Rhinos in the yard. I mean, Thrasher is much better on its own, right? Thrasher is like this enabler that helps you discard extra moons, it helps you get Delirium, it helps you double spell. Versus Dreadhorde Arcanist, which has been and always will be likely a pretty win more card in this modern format. Now, I think this turn I'm actually going to suspend Second Footfalls because I can go Rumble into another 2-drop next turn. So playing Rumble this turn doesn't like let me double spell very often. Versus I can just suspend the Rhinos, which I think has a good chance to be pretty relevant this game. Okay, I guess are they more likely to be Coffers than Necro because they have played a Relic? I wonder, maybe. And this is also feels like a suspend kind of game, right? I'll take a Raptor. Bloodbraid Marauder. Let's go. Called shot. Now I have Delirium, so this Relic is not going to stop us here. Oh yeah, I guess this could be like the stealthy style Saga Rack deck. All right, for 2 mana I cast for 2 mana I get 15 points of power. Is it S tier now, Dingo? Or did I miscount? Sorry, not 15. 13 points of power. Yeah, Reign of Glory Arcanist could be something. That is true. Something to work on. Take 2. Would Wayfinder be considered cash grabs? No, it would be worse than cash grab. $5 a month for the rest of your life. Like, the cash grab gets you Moon, it gets you Raptor, it gets you Marauder, and like it digs you for your really, really powerful cards, you know. Saul at the 90 raid. My brain's not working so good today. Thank you for the raid, though. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome everybody from Sawa's stream. Alright, so with Fatal Push, they're not dead this turn. Y'all just missed it too. We went Raptor into Marauder into Rhinos on turn 3. 2 mana, 13 power. So if they Sweeper, we have Detective's Phoenix for lethal. We also have 2 Rhinos on suspend. One of them's coming down next turn. They could play the One Ring, I guess, this turn, but then they're not going to love tapping it being at 2 life. They tap a Swamp for 1 black mana, and they decide to concede. We're going to bring in a Gemstone Caverns on the draw here. I think I'm cutting Verdant Catacombs. Now, do we feel like Blood Moon is good against them? They have a lot of swamps. They have a green splash too. Could cut them off of like Culling Ritual, which is a card that these decks splash for sometimes. We don't exactly have anything like super premium to bring in, so let's leave these moons in for now. Okay, we'll keep this one. Cast Grab to set up the Marauders. My Kingdom for a Gemstone Caverns, though. This deck is relatively cheap, right? I don't know. Relative to what? probably somewhat affordable, yeah. You got fetches, you got Gemstone Caverns, you got Blood Moons. But the bulk of the deck's probably not too bad, relative to most modern decks. Okay, they were coffers all along. Base the 3 years. Let's go. Welcome back. Think they're Pillage the Bog. Moon doesn't really cut them off that either. Wait, why doesn't Moon cut them off? Okay, there's the Gemstone Caverns. Why doesn't Moon cut them off Pillage the Bog? Like, they're not going to play Basic Forest very often, I would think. They plot a Pillage the Bog. Too bad I didn't have Rumble instead. Okay, so we need to take a land. We build over Phoenix. I guess we could take the Phoenix theoretically. We're gonna leave it in the yard, of course. I want to get a Wooded Foothills to be able to Blood Moon anyways. Oh, this turn I think we will just be cascading and playing a Commercial District tapped. I don't hate that card. My hand has a lot of gas, and the extra 2 mana value to collect evidence does seem pretty relevant next turn. We'll see what they do, of course. If they ring, they do ring. We should probably lead on Cash Grab looking for Bonecrusher Giant to hit them for 11. Okay. I'm gonna stop myself so that they have Soul Spike. They can't stop the damage prevention thing. I could also bestow a Phoenix here, but I think instead I'm just gonna go ahead and hit them for 11. I'm gonna get a basic forest and then cast an amulet. Oh, they do have basic forest. Wow, surprised that's in their deck. And then next turn we can go Marauder, deal them 1 off the amulet. Detective's Phoenix, steal them 1 off the amulet, attack for 6 in the air. And this is kind of assuming that they're going to cast a Sweeper here, too. There's a Blood Moon. I don't know if we're going to be casting that this game. They got to make a lot of mana here, like 4 mana. Not sure how worried we are though. We have lethal here, and they're tapped out. Even we have lethal through Shieldred. We get to go Amulet, Marauder, Phoenix. That's 8 damage. Okay, another ring. All right, start off with a Rumble, I guess. Take another Hub. Do I want a Blood Moon this turn? I think I do want a Blood Moon here. Just stopping them from like carding me off of Cabal Coffers next turn seems pretty important. And I really restrict their like colored mana too. Did we already get any new Delirium name from new set? Well, we have, if you're talking about Cash Grab, yes, Cash Grab is, weirdly enough, maybe the most impactful Bloomburrow card. Oh. Free Strider Lookout, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Free Strider Lookout. I didn't want things to end this way. I'm so sorry. Look at my son. Pride is not the word I'm looking for. Okay, now they pop the relic. So much more now. I also didn't tap the ring last turn. So let's just let this trigger resolve, I guess. Another basic swamp. Okay, Free Strider Lookout still doing some work. Let's go and Cash Grab off the spawn. If I leave this Unstable Amulet in the yard, I have Delirium for my Bloodbraid Marauders, so I think that's going to take priority for me here. We will pick up a land, I guess. So we'll draw for turn. Then we'll play an Unstable Amulet out. Might as well tap. Ooh. Okay, I don't have enough mana or enough cards in yard to bestow anymore post Relic, but I think that'll be okay. So cast the Footfalls, deal them 1 with the Amulet. We have 2 more Amulet damage with the Raptor with Bonecrusher. 1 more if we can bestow the Phoenix, which I think will be pretty likely we can next turn. Spike, am I a Hamilton fan? No, I just word for word recited part from it, like the monkeys typing Shakespeare. All right, opponent's down to 5. There's a Shieldred. Yeah, deck was looking pretty good last night. I was pretty impressed with it. No, my Amped Raptor. Still doing pretty well though. We actually also the Marauders, the Lookouts have reach. Lookouts have reach. So we can go cast Bonecrusher from exile, deal them 1 down to 8, bestow down to 7. They have to chump block that. Might lose. We have game 3. So I need to do this before I tap my other amulet here. So this is going to put them down to 7. They can chump block though, and right now, so block here, block here. Right now we can put them to 3. Okay, it's kind of an interesting pickup. So I think this, I guess, so it doesn't kill them because they can tap the ring on the upkeep. That doesn't help as a flip at all, unfortunately. Okay, let's get in. So they go up to 6, and then they take 2 down to 4. Why did Bobble not end up making the cut? Well, you don't really want to hit Bobble off Marauder ever. That's kind of it. Deck needs some Layla. Dude, that card is so bad. You don't want to put that card in your deck, I promise. He does more cards out of this deck? I don't know. I mean, I haven't been looking like that closely at Duskmourn. I just kind of look at the cards as they come, and then once the full set is out, I do a deep dive, and I haven't done that yet. Okay, probably going to game 3. Is Rhino castable out of Amulet? No, I don't really know what people think it would be. Okay. Close one. Going to game 3. Don't feel so bad about opponents kind of having pretty perfects there for a few turns. Kind of surprised we lost that one. Yeah, we could put Jegantha in our hand, but... In your Basim list, do you ever cut down on Basim, Mox, Tamios? I trim a Mox pretty often. It's I don't know that I ever like trim a Basim or Tamio post board. It could happen, I guess. Pretty sure I've cut a Tamio once or twice too. Tamio's so good though in that deck. Okay, let's keep. Book back to Phoenix. And is maybe going to be kind of dependent on what we hit off these Raptors. My favorite streamer, respect, keep up work. Thank you, Matt. Do my best. So we'll take that. And then I'm just not going to tap this amulet until after we cast this Raptor, so we get a 3-drop off this one. Taurus, the 60 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Yeah. Hitting Footfalls off amulet is a whiff. Does this deck what Mind Collapse on the board for Shieldred? I don't think so. I mean, Shieldred is not like a very popular card in Modern. Sees a little bit of play. I'm not going to probably put Mind Collapse in our Amped Raptor deck either. And get towards the 60 months. Let's go. And friends with the 38. Long times. I'm just here to complain about the ring. Hell yeah. Aren't we all? Okay. So we don't really have 1-drops we could hit, but I guess I could hit another commercial district or a fetch land for it, so we'll tap this now. Cash grab definitely very nice with the double Marauder in my hand. Gonna get in for 2. I will say that Culling Ritual last turn was really good. I'm a bit concerned about overcommitting too much into it. Wondering if Tarmogoyf could be improvement on anything. Yeah, you could play Goyce in the deck, maybe. Of course, I had Fanatic of Ronus in this build for a little bit. As some of you may be able to guess. Does them pushing mean they probably don't have Culling Ritual? I'm not sure. I'm going to cast Bloodbraid Marauder, and my opponent could have Culling Ritual next turn. We could lose this game, but let's go ahead and cast this, deal them 2 off the amulet, and put 11 points of power to play for 2 mana. Basura with the 43 months, thank you so much. We beat the ring next turn. We got Bonecrusher in our hands. We're doing pretty good. When did we get old? Probably like month 12 or something. I think it was 43 months. On a long month resubs. Always love to see that. Ring. Oh. Or that's fine. So we can go Marauder into Phoenix into Stomp now that we drew this land. And then the Marauder deals them 2 off the amulets. The Phoenix deals them 2 off the amulets. Obviously, the Bonecrusher deals them 2. Right. Okay, so good news. We lost the die roll. That means we could have Gemstone Caverns in our opening hand. Let's go. Although, wait. We could double suspend on turn 1. Let's try. I don't know. This is maybe a bad keep, but it is a pretty sweet one. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. In some matchups, this could be good. We got Surveil lands. Obviously, this could really backfire. Could cast that next turn. Yeah, hoping to not see it's a fairy. Spike with the gemstones super important. Yes. Yes, the gemstones are super important. We are up against Chess Guy. Uh-oh. Blood Moon? Ever jamming value Bloodbraid Elf? I thought about Bloodbraid Elf. I think it is not correct to put it in the list. Let's keep that on top. I thought about Bloodbraid Elf. I don't think you should play it. It is a 4-drop in your Amped Raptor deck. You can afford to play 3 drops because of Aether Hub, and you can't really afford to play 4 drops. They Graveyard Wrath the Skies when I have double Footfalls and Suspend, so it seems they have another plan for that, or they don't have any lands. Obviously, we're hoping that it's the latter. Looks like they have a land. Or maybe they don't have white mana. They did pitch Lore and Revealed, though. So these are going to go down to 2. We're just going to cast another Phoenix, I think. Like, I would not play this deck unless I owned at least 2 Gemstone Caverns. I think there's even a good chance we're supposed to main deck the 3rd. They are super duper important. Okay, if we can find a Blood Moon right now, we're probably going to win. Not only could we Surveil into one, but we could Rumble or Cash Grab into one here too and cast it. Or Amulet. It seems like enough better than the average draw to keep, especially with the Footfalls coming down. What do you think of the Mono Blue Charbelcher deck that would challenge 8-1? Something you want to test? Yeah, it is. I like it. We've been talking about that kind of shell actually on the channel for like a little bit. And I kind of think that there's a lot of things misbuilt about that list, if I'm going to be honest. I think the card quality is really low. I think it was playing some of the wrong MDFCs. I think I really wanted to be in on Flare plus Augur plus Thundertrap Trainer. Because Flare of Denial is like a proactive counterspell to protect your combo. At least that's something I want to try. So I rebuilt it. I'm not like 100% confident my build is better or whatever, but I liked the build I had. Okay, main phase Solitude is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I like the build I had, and I have, and that is actually the backup deck today. So, does Party Thrasher let you cast Rhinos or something? No, Party Thrasher is just a good enabler and card selector in this archetype that fits on in our deck restrictions. You can discard extra Rhinos, discard extra extra Blood Moons, smooth out your curve, double spell. I'm closer to playing 3 Party Thrashers, but I think 2 is a good number at the moment. So you want to do this so you don't mill over the commercial district and be unable to get it. Okay, so I'm going to cast 2 Footfalls. That's going to put my opponent down to 9. And then if I take Stomp, that puts them down to 7. Then I cast it again, and that puts them down to 5. Yeah, seems okay. Six to 37. Thank you. Welcome back. Okay, love that this is just eating a counterspell. Glad that this has worked out so well. Okay, 2 cards in their hand. They're down to 9 life, basically 7, and then this is representing a lot of damage here, but Amped Raptor, a little bit too high upside, I guess. Let's go ahead and cast that. Also triggers the Amulet, of course. Alright, let's cast a Rumble. This will put my opponent down to 8. A lot of good hits here, of course. Ooh, we mill over Detective's Phoenix, so we can grab Amulet, cast another Amulet here. And then also bestow Phoenix. Now, why don't we sack the spawn? I don't see this backfiring too often. But if I flip another Detective's Phoenix, I'll want to be able to cast that. Sadly, 1 mana short of Blood Mooning. But I'm certainly happy with this outcome. So we have redundant instants, redundant sorceries, redundant creatures. So this deals my opponent 2, and then I am attacking them for 4, and then they're dead to the ring. Not so bad for what our opening hand was, huh? Not so bad for what our opening hand was. Okay, so let's bring in the 3rd Gemstone Caverns. Jessica doesn't usually play much that you can Boseiju, so I think we're just going to go ahead and cut that. 3 Blood Moon seems like a pretty good number against them. I think that we may just not do anything else. We could bring in some hearses for Flage, but the problem is that like this plays a little bit too much into Wrath Disguise. So let's just not, I think. Blood Moon can kind of be our answer to Flage, too. Do you say we have the 3rd Stomping Ground aside just for Play Gel Dependence? Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but like I have 2 Gemstone Caverns in my deck. Is making my mana better, and kind of significantly better, every single time I'm on the play. Is that worth a sideboard card? I think yes, it is. It's not something I've done that often in the past, but I don't know. I think it's also the kind of thing I like to do when I'm like early into a draft of a deck and I don't know exactly how we want to build the sideboard yet. Sideboards always take a little bit more time to tune, and so having this kind of more experimental sideboard, I think makes sense. All right, beautiful hand. Let's go ahead and imprint Footfalls, I think. Do we beat the One Ring? Yeah, we did beat the One Ring. We're 2-0 against the Ring today. Drannith Magistrate. That card is very good against us, but they did surveil it into the yard for one reason or another. Maybe our lack of answers to that card is an issue. Seems like it may not be an issue this game. Okay, so we are missing the 4th type right now. Let's go for the kill here with the Blood Moon. They could have a Force of Negation. Okay, the pitch address down. Still no second land. Did you keep 7? They kept 7, and I'm not sure that they did. They probably have another Magistrate in their hand. Right, your turn. Yeah, not a bad one-lander with the Surveil land and the Drannith Magistrate Force of Negation Snare. Do they find second land? They do find second land. They don't slam a Magistrate. Very relieved about that. Take this down. 5 cards in their hand still. Kind of tempted to cast Phoenix because if they counter, we get Delirium. I think I'm just going to cast this instead. Graveyard's a Force of Negation. Of course, looking for lands. Unclear if they're looking for love. Ugh. Well, that one's pretty good against us, still. Seems like they have a subtlety. Do they have a 3rd Force of Negation? This seems like they don't. Attacking them for 9? Can they afford to not chump block? See, think they can? Down to 9. They do find land number 3. If they Wrath the Skies for everything, it's a bit awkward because they lose the Drannith Magistrate when I have Suspended Rhinos here, but they may not have another option. Certainly the issue in playing Drannith Magistrate in this kind of deck. Instead, they do have Flage, which is bad for me. They don't even take 2. Perfect answer. Isn't Phoenix on the second creature? No, not if you bestow it. Raptor basically does nothing, neither does the amulet. Hoping that they don't top deck red source for Flage. Okay, not a red source at least. So I lose my Crashing Footfalls to 2 things here. Should we have bought Jegantha? Maybe. The thing is we can't cast it next turn. And I kind of think we will be able to set up for a spot where we draw a 4th land, then we put Jegantha in our hand, then we can cast it the following turn by Legend ruling Gemstone Caverns, and then I think it is also possible that we can force our opponent to Wrath the Skies if that's their only answer, at which point we'll be happy that we played the Amulet. We have extra energy to maybe Raptor into a 3-drop. But things definitely have to go right from this point. This seemed like maybe I messed up the turn I cast the Bonecrusher if I had cast Raptor instead and like not been so cold to another Magistrate. That would have been nice. Party Thrasher is looking kind of good. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Dude, Magistrate is good against us. What can you say? Save me Jegantha is what we can say. Oh, Wrath the Skies, please. No. Can't Rapture the 3 to in play. Yep. We can't do basically anything here. I'm talking. That's all we can do. Is yap. Might need a couple of Braid in the board. Something like that, yeah. Okay. They do tap the ring. Maybe I can't draw Stomp, attack them, and then if they don't block, kill them. Because they have the Teferi. I can bestow this Phoenix. Although, sorry, it would have been better to bestow on the Raptor, because then a subtlety could just trade here. It's a bit of a misstep. We get to kill the Teferi, which is something. Sorry, I guess maybe I'm playing Party Thrasher there, maybe I'm not. The chump block is pretty interesting. Are they going to escape the Flage? Escaping Flage isn't that good for them here. Why lose Magistrate? I mean, they are losing Magistrate so they can keep the Teferi, but beyond that, we're not really sure. Like, they haven't activated the Teferi yet. Or they just bounce my Jegantha, maybe? They're throwing. Okay, it doesn't seem like a lot of point in tapping end of turn here. Because I may want to like Raptor into a Blood Moon. Rumble into Blood Moon would be good. There's a Marauder, which Is that online? I would have sort. Yeah, I would have online. Yeah, let's take the Marauder. I like that the Marauder makes it to where they can't like flage very effectively. They like have to Wrath Disguise. All right, yeah. So let's not commit more than just this Marauder into the incoming Wrath Disguise. Oh, the whole deck is getting shuffled in there. Deal them 0 damage because they have pro everything at the moment. I do like, making Flage not really a thing here. No ring tap. They do have 7 cards in hand. Plays an island. Tune the narrative. Is there an indicator mode if you made your land drop or not for turn? Is there? I haven't seen that. So it looks like they're holding up a counterspell. So we're probably going to go Thrasher, bestow Phoenix on the Thrasher, then cast a Raptor. We'll see what we draw, though. Cast a Rumble. Aether Hub would be kind of a nice hit. They also might counter this. Off this, we find an Unstable Amulet. So I'm going to cast the Amulet, I think, and then there's a good chance they're scared of this because of the... They should be pretty scared of it because of the ring and the life total here. Okay, and so now I have the option to bestow Phoenix onto Spawn token, put them to 1. I have the option to cast Amped Raptor or Party Thrasher also. I do like that Thrasher doesn't die to Flage. So they would go Escape Flage, go up to 6. Yeah, I think we should just Phoenix. Two bags of ranch. Great username. Thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate you. It's kind of fun too that I don't really know why we would do this. Oh, yeah, if they flage target the spawn, we can sack the spawn to deny the life gain. It's kind of fun. Spike is the Elon Musk of MTG. I've never heard anything more horrible. Mods. Targets me. He's always making new stuff. Well, he's using his billions of dollars to pay other people to make stuff. If only I had billions of dollars. Alright, cast a Raptor. I'm just, teasing. It's okay, Elon sucks, though. I'll tell you that. All right, let's put 10 power into play, I guess. Or 11 power. Oh, wait. I'm out of rhinos. Dang. Sack spawn. Sack spawn, Phoenix, Raptor, GG. That doesn't work how you think it works. Why does Elon suck? Guy's literally a genius. I think you could make a very good case the guy's very dumb and not a genius. I think he takes a lot of credit for other people's work. I think he's used his inherited money to leverage himself in a way where he looks really smart. I don't think he's invented anything. I think you could say his products, once he gets a hold of them, are pretty subpar. Like, you could look at the Cybertrucks, you could look at Twitter, you could look at a lot of things and make that claim. The big reason he sucks, though, is that he bought Twitter to influence the U.S. election, and that sucks. I think that sucks a lot, even. Okay, pretty cool to know they're at this, guys. He bought Twitter to stop censorship. That's what he says to you. He bought Twitter to stop censorship, right? What that actually means is what? It actually means is what? I don't know. It certainly sounds good. Stopping censorship certainly sounds good, and I think that is a good thing to stop censorship. In actuality, there's a lot of There's so much racism on Twitter. It's crazy. Like, I could not go one day on the site without saying the N-word. I could not go one day on the site without this stuff. He's also he has also done a lot of censorship. He is there have been a lot of there's been a lot of censorship he's done in this election cycle, and I don't know. I probably shouldn't have responded to the spike as the Elon of MTG. I just got real. It just got me. Yeah, but he absolutely does censor stuff all the time, and I think you are probably a little probably not aware of the facts. You got I did get a little baited for sure. What can you do? Well, don't think this Phoenix is going to hit my opponent, but if it does somehow, we win. Otherwise, we're going to go to game 3. Okay, my opponent's at 2. They have a ring on 2. I'm going to cast a Blood Moon. Probably should have said someone else. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Sorry for going down the rabbit hole. Cursed Totem's for Yogg, not Frog. Any consideration for using threads as Elon's platform? The thing is, nobody uses threads, It's like very important, especially as a creator of my size, to have a Twitter account. It's very tough to like function without one. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, they do have a consign. Let's go to game 3. On the play for game 3. Disciple with the gifted sub. Thank you so much. And the 3 months. Think you're losing that one. Yeah, it was a weird game. Our deck is certainly really weak to Drannith Magistrate. That is something we're going to need to address. This hand is really sick, though. No, I think I'm going to Surveil instead of get a basic forest here. What I do to deserve a chat warning? Well, it's just we probably need to change the topic, Z. It's I understand that you have a difference of opinion, and that is okay. That is okay. But we do need to change the topic. This topic is very exhausting, and in a big way, I like to come to the stream so I don't have to focus on this kind of stuff. I think a lot of people do too. All right, let's cast an Amped Raptor. Cast an Amulet. Yeah, they consign their ring trigger to survive. Now, it'll be a pretty interesting game here if my opponent plays non-basic land into Drannith Magistrate this turn, and then doesn't force negation my Moon. Now, I do have this Aether Hub, so I think I should be tapping this end of turn. I guess doing it end of turn most time, no matter what. Another Amulet. I do have all red cards. Of course, no green man at the moment. Certainly this Blood Moon will be better for me than my opponent also, and if it gets countered, that's a lot of fuel for my Detective's Phoenix. If it resolves, that is likely to end the game. Hopefully we just get basic planes here. Graveyard the Fountain. Any force of negations? Can we just win this one easy peasy? Interesting that they chose to Surveil and Tune first. They probably do have the force. There it is. Pitching Supreme Verdict. 5 cards in their hand still. There's a basic plains. Maybe Flage this turn. Fun Raveler maybe. Maybe Wrath the Skies. Now we can't tap this amulet again. We lose the Bonecrusher Giant if we do. But we do have the second amulet to follow up. All things considered, not the worst Wrath the Skies ever. Also fills the yard pretty fully for Phoenix and gives me Delirium for Bloodbraid Marauder. So if I draw a land, I did draw a land. I think it's overcommitting for me to think it's overcommitting for me to play double Marauder, but I think we can play Amulet into Marauder. I guess one thing here is if they have another Force of Negation, then I would want to play second Marauder, but then we would miss out on the damage from the Unstable Amulet, and the Amulet damage can definitely stack up. Not the worst, this is like a really solid 3-for-1, and we still have another one of these in our hand. We can even go Marauder into Bestow a Phoenix next turn. They pitched what? A Lorien revealed. So if they go Land Ring, then we could go Marauder, Stomp, Phoenix only if we drew a land off of our Amulet or our draw. I guess we have another Amulet too. Gonna tap this one. Stomping Ground. Okay, that is really interesting draw. We're going to have a very powerful turn here, I think. We're going to play Raptor before tapping the Amulet again so that we could hit a 3-drop off the Raptor. We are going to put Blood Moon into our hand, I think. Oh, it's kind of tough. Okay, so we have the option to go Marauder into Rhinos, deal damage off the Amulet, Bestow a Phoenix, deal damage off the Amulet, attack for 6. That puts my opponent down to 9. We can also do that next turn and cast this Blood Moon to win the game. So let's do that. And I'm not going to tap the Amulet because I could draw a Raptor. They do have a basic island here. Okay, and then rewarded for not tapping the Amulet. Help me help myself. I love that start. I'm a big fan of Fling in Modern. Is there a viable shell? Kroxa, Skelemental, Unearth Fling, or is it just not viable? It's an interesting question. I will say... Ooh, we hit Forest? Dude, we're running so hot today. I will say that I was working recently on trying to play Necro Dominance plus Death Shadow plus Fling, where you like Necro, you draw a ton of cards, you put your life really low, and then next turn you're able to go like Shadow Thud or Shadow Thud or something, Shadow Fling, and win the game. I did not like figure out a shell there. Hold on. Delving always crashes my train of thought. I did not really figure out a shell there that did actually seem playable. I spent a good amount of time on it, and I just never really, or I have still not figured it out. But as far as Fling goes, that's probably like the best direction to go in. I will say that searching Flings on like Scryfall was really tough. Yeah, you'll go Pact of Fling. Yeah, Pact of Fling. I'd be pretty busted, honestly. 0 mana spells, anybody? Does anybody have any feelings on 0 mana spells? Okay, we're gonna keep this one. 3, no. Deck's going nice. Thought of Primal Prayers and Abject Shell for Gravecrawler plus Soul Trader. It's kind of interesting. I like the thought. I don't know if I'm going to play Thrasher or Raptor next turn. Probably Raptor. I haven't messed around anymore with Espergorios. What's your opinion on Tamio versus Thoughtseize for the 1-drop slot? I'm kind of a big Thoughtseize hater and Gorios usually. I would basically, like, you're an instant speed combo deck, and your ability to go, like Force of Negation is a better hit off of Atraxa, because you get to, like, put it into play and hold it up for anything that they play reactively, which is great. And then Force of Negation also... Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just Raptor here. And then Force of Negation also protects the combo in a similar way that Thoughtseize does, but for 0 mana, and makes your opponent commit the mana. And so, like, just in general, I'm a much bigger fan of Force. I would play the 4th Force of Negation before the 1st Thoughtseize, or maybe or slash Flare of Denial, I guess, because I also do like Flare of Denial a lot for whatever that's worth. Discuss the Bonecrusher here, I think. Just get the board presence. 2 mana, 6 power. Just Raptor things. What Eldrazi list do you think is the best now? That's kind of a tough question. I will say I really liked the non-Emrakul Tron builds that I've played in the past, and I would kind of want to circle back to that on some tournament day. Probably not anytime soon, but on a day I have a tournament to play, I may throw that one out. I also liked the improvise blue build that we had tried. I thought that build was good. Can Raptor cast Footfalls playing 0 energy? Yes. It hasn't happened yet today, although we have hit Marauder off Raptor a few times. Could Frog be good in Dredge? Could. Is Mono White Cage just gone now since MH3? Well, it got better with MH3 for sure. I've actually been thinking about that deck some more. I like it. There's a chance that deck has a good energy matchup. Although it is kind of an energy deck itself, just like a mono white one. Yeah, I'm kind of open to circling back to that one. All right, so down to 2, then down to 3. Why do you get to pay 0 energy cast Footfalls? Because it costs 0. It's a 0 mana value spell, and you get to cast. Rapture lets you cast a spell equal to its mana value. Mana value 0. It's a pretty good matchup to suspend these, I guess. I want to see Orzhov Cage with Sorin Ripper as backup dumb thing to do. Don't hate that. Any interest in playing something like Crusher was running a blue artifact deck? I do, yeah. Does anyone have Crusher's list? I don't think I've seen it. Like the full thing. So I'm kind of expecting this to get countered. It's a bit awkward because we want to be able to bestow, and maybe we'll draw like a Catch Grab or Rumble or 2-drop that gets countered to be able to bestow. But you can't collect evidence with that. Okay, I guess let's surveil, and then maybe we bestow onto the Bonecrusher and attack, and then maybe we just cast the other Bonecrusher. I mean, bestowing this turn seems really good. Let's just do that. Makes me sad to lose put back a Raptor, though. Alright, 3 cards in their hand. Force of Negation will be pretty bad for me here. Well, was right about that. They pitched another counterspell. Now they are on a 3-turn. We are on a 3-turn clock from the Murktide at least. Although Tamio can maybe jump and change the math. Gonna go down to 7. Tick this down. Yeah, I guess we were 1 point short of winning the race last turn, anyways. Yeah, pretty critical Force of Negation. Them attacking with a Tamio is bad news. Can't be good news. All right, game 2, down a game. So we're going to bring in a Stomping Ground. We're going to cut a Gemstone Caverns. I want some Blood Moons. I think I'm going to go just maybe like 2 Moon, 1 Hearse in this matchup, and maybe not worry about it too much. I'm going to also use Restroom again. Be back. 15 to get on camera? Yeah. What's up? I was going to standing desk, but Athena's back there, and she hates the standing desk. Opponent's on a mulligan to 6. Usually I'm bleeding on Rumble in these spots so that if I Raptor into Marauder, I have Delirium a lot of the time, and then Rumble also sets up for a good double spell. Well, if I hit Aether Hub, maybe I would change my mind there. Obviously, nice little Entomb value there. Not only a Goryo's line. Rumbling's coming. Any snares over there? 3 rumbles is kind of the nuts. Spell Pierce, okay. You know, some people have been asking about answers to Psychic Frog in red. Uh, this has been something that has been a bit of an issue, right, for red gamers being able to deal with Psychic Frog on turn 2. And last night I was thinking about, in this deck, playing Sudden Shock for this matchup. And the problem with Sudden Shock is it's a trick that only works like one time, right? Like, you're not going to have an opponent who gets their thing Sudden Shocked and then doesn't play around it in game 3 or whatever. But I think it could be kind of interesting. Yeah, it could play Barrage, although we'll see. Only works on curve. What do you mean? If you're on the play or the draw, it works. Claim the Firstborn. I guess if you're always having if you always have Goblin Bombardment in your deck like 4 dogs, then yeah. They can't play around it if you're on the play. Oh, right. I see. But that's true. That's true. So sacking the spawn so I can detect his Phoenix this turn. In response, they cling the Phoenix. Because it's okay. They can play around it by not playing the frog into 2 open mana. That's true, yeah. But it was just a thought I had, because I do think that red decks struggle with frog. Sudden Shock is not a very good card, so it's, you know, I'm not convinced that this is something we're going to register in Modern, but I just thought it was kind of a neat idea. All right, getting in with the Tamio. I wonder if they ever play around Marauder, if I like ascend it with all 3. Let's Raptor, see what we hit off the Raptor. I think if they had a counter spell, they would counter the Raptor, probably, right? Another one. So now this Raptor's going to hit whatever, although probably... Yeah, let's go ahead and send with everything, and then if my opponent blocks the Marauder, we'll just play another Raptor, and if they block a Rhino, we'll stomp the Murktide. Try a 3rd color testing. For this deck, no. Run afoul. You could do run afoul, yeah. I didn't end up playing an answer to frog because I didn't necessarily think it was going to be that big of a problem. So that's kind of, you know, where I was at. But maybe it would be. Well, that was quite a turn. Wouldn't Abrupt Decay be better at the point? It is. Okay, again, we're just talking about Sudden Shock for mana cost. We still have the color pie in Modern. Interesting that they would Surveil instead of cracking the Clue. I guess maybe they think flipping Tamio is going to be good for them here. Maybe it will be. Bonecrusher is not 2 types for Delirium. It is only a creature. You know, as my dad says, why doesn't everyone just always play all the best cards? That is often his question. For deck building and Magic. And it is kind of based. It is kind of based. But the reason is the color pie. Any plans to play the Amulet Twiddle deck today? I'll set a timer to tune back in. I'm actually going to play it right now, so don't leave. Please don't leave. I'm actually going to play everyone's pet deck right now. Dude, this Nile Spellbomb is really, really timely here to stop my Marauder and also flip the Tamio. Well, they're still in pretty bad shape. They're just dead, right? Unless they have another force. Is it also the metagame exist? Yeah, it's a simple question to complicate an answer. Of course. Oh, sorry, not that I'm bored. Taking 6. Down to 4. Down to 2. Yes, we're about to play Dressed Out, Null Drifter Shadow. We're about to play, again, everybody's pet decks. Okay, they shock their Watergrave in to concede. Gonna trim a Stomping Ground, trim a Boseiju on the draw, bring in 2 more Caverns. They didn't seem to really be playing around Moon very aggressively. But let's just leave 2 in. I know the mulligan button is there. I'm not going to click it here. No Gemstone Caverns makes me sad, though. Turn 1 Tommy was also very scary. Turnip with the 14 months. Hope that you're doing well. They also got an island. Null Drifter, Dressed Down, Shadow's cool. Have you seen Spike's Green, Fnatic, Eldrazi? Yeah. That one's been a bit of a heartbreaker for me. I am so stuck on it. Need to do some more testing of it off stream, I guess. Oh. Didn't mean to respond to the trigger there. I guess it's okay. Maybe we should have played around Snare. Our deck is definitely not good against Spell Snare. That's been pretty clear today. Yeah, I feel like opponents in general have been playing faster later. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I am liking it. So I'm going to play a Thrasher here and suspend a Footfalls. And then probably planning on discarding a Blood Moon, which helps me get towards Delirium. And Blood Moon is probably not going to be very good this game. Although, if they don't fly the frog, I'll try to block. They have a push. Yeah, pretty tough curve to beat on the draw without a Gemstone Caverns. Is Arena of Glory too awkward with Caverns and Hubs? I think so, yeah. I when I was building the deck, I'm like, I could play a Boseiju or an Arena of Glory. And, you know, the tiebreaker tends to be, like, if I have 4 Phoenix in my deck, Detective's Phoenix, I don't think you tend to need Arena of Glory. May take an L. I'm gonna guess concede. Let's go to last match of this league. Like this, it's so tough to play a land like Barbarian Ring when you could just play a fetch land, which can get you a forest for your Blood Moon or a Surveil land to fill up your graveyard. It's just like every fetch land is kind of a better utility land than like everything else. Yeah, great first league though. I'm so too good. They're trying to shut us down. What's happening? I feel like I clicked something weird and I've bugged it. Concede match. Okay, well, I'm not in a match. Let's try to restart. They're trying to shut us down. No Twitch Go Live notifications for Aspiring Spike. They won't let me in the league, but that won't stop us. Nothing will stop us unless there's actually several things that would stop us upon more reflection. Is it Moto update? It could be. It is Wednesday. I think I just clicked something weird. Yeah, I did. Okay, look. Yeah, I was like in the match, but I think I like switched to like the deck view at the same time. That's why I missed the start of stream. Yeah, I mean, I was live at the same time every day, but for some reason it seems like the Go Live notifications aren't going on. Did I, answer some Twitch employee's question about the One Ring sarcastically? It seems very likely at this point. Seems almost confirmed. Okay, Marsh Flats Jegantha probably up against Mardu. Okay, don't mind the Slotsies so much. Yeah, it's because I pump and dump the One Ring. I do have 5 rings. I bought 4 for Pro Tour Barcelona, and then I opened one in our testing booster drafts. So that I guess the ring actually is supposed to go in my Magda EDH deck that I need to update, but I'm holding my 5. Yeah, time to grab some cash and run. Katina. The camera is kind of weird. I used to be able to adjust. Yeah, it's just gonna keep falling. So yeah, this was a 4th type, but then I picked up the put the cash grab in the yard for the actual 4th type. But trying to play Tommy's Sasaurus Circle deck, is there any way to jam Woodlands and play green? Maybe. Certainly sounds like the start of an idea. I like the build we had a lot as far as like Tomio meets the Story Circle. I thought that deck was pretty good. I would love to play it again soon. It sounds like a Woodlands focused build could work, but the thing is, it's like the best thing to Archway of Innovation out is 10 mana Ulamog and Emrakul the Promised End. And those things aren't exactly like super premium to copy with Shifting Woodland. With Woodland, you want to copy like Gristlebrand, Archon of Cruelty, Cityscape Leveler, Omniscience. And so there's some tension. I guess you could play Cityscape Leveler as something to convoke into. Yeah, this deck has been really good. It's been a nice one so far. Feels like a nice one. Can I lower the desk so Athena is in view? No, it's as low as it goes. Okay, so they kill a Rhino so they can Ocelot Pride me. So they're going to go up to 7. They're going to make a 1/1 cat, and then they're potentially going down to 3. I'm going to go ahead and play Aether Hub and tap the hub. I guess it doesn't matter that much. Another Detective's Phoenix that unfortunately I can't quite bestow. I think we're supposed to Phoenix the Bloodbraid. It's 1 less damage. So you're saying it's 1 less damage at the cost of having better blocker? Yeah, maybe that's true. Well, let's see how kind their Amped Raptor is to them. Very kind. Holy shit. We might still be fine. They're gonna gain a lot of life here, though. So they're gonna go. They're up to 6. Hit me here, and then they're gonna be at a really high life total. But I think I may still have lethal. Oh no, they also get to lifelink the Ocelot Pride. So they're up to 12 life. Seems like if I'm 1 damage short if I just bestow Phoenix onto the Marauder. But my cash grab finds me 3 lands, so I still can't bestow, and then I draw another land. Shucks, I guess. I don't know. Already lost my other commercial district. Okay. Maybe we'd have won if we bestowed on the Marauder, but that was a tough flood at the end. Okay, so my plan against Boros is to bring in the Hearses and cut the moons. I might want a moon against Mardu. Can we cut a land? I think we're running too many lands. I don't think we're running too many lands. Could play 22, but you have Party Thrasher to loot them some away. You really need to get your land drops. You have Surveil lands. I missed the colon P. 23 generally seems a little high, but it's hard with Blood Moon subs around. Yeah, I think 23 is a good number, but you could play 22. I think it's 22 or 23. You would play third Party Thrasher and like cut like a fetch land. I could work with this one. All right, let's see what we can cast grab into. Definitely kind of maybe a little too dirtily of a hand. Do I want red source or do I want this Bloodbraid Marauder? I think I'm just going to take Stomping Ground. Do want to keep that extra energy in the pool. Yeah, maybe I should have mulliganed. Not sure. Is there any card that hits okay, so that's Delirium at least. That's bad though. But sorry, is there any card that hits Drannith Magistrate that also isn't like really embarrassing to draw against Jeskai if they don't have Drannith Magistrate? I'm not sure if there is. Looks like they're thinking about popping the Spell Bomb to stop me from top decking a Marauder. We have a Footfalls not coming down this next turn. Kind of needed to come down this next turn. I think it is correct for them to pop this now. Let's see what we hit off the Amulet. Just to Boseiju, not very helpful. Take this down. Another Amulet. Bricadelphia. Alright, well. Probably dead. Friar Lithomantic Barrage. Well, again, it's like... So one thing is, we want it to be 2 mana. We want it to be 2 mana. That's because we don't want to cascade into it. I don't know what the Replicate Lightning Bolt is. So it needs to be 2 mana. I like Skullcrack. Skullcrack does not hit Drannith Magistrate. It's first just for Flage. In this matchup, yeah. Flage is pretty good card. Reiterating Bolts. Okay, Can we get some Pyre Calls on the board? Well, it kills a good amount of our own creatures. We could play some, though. We're not going to have the 3 extra energy, basically, ever. Fry. Well, Fry kills Drannith Magistrate, for sure. But, is this, like... I guess it also hits Teferi. It's also not terrible against, like, Frog. I guess I could be down for Fry. Okay, let's play the Fry.